Hello out there, all you wonderful people. This is Andre the Game. My dear guy, thank you once again for lending me your time and your ear, listening into another Gamer's Thoughts discussion. In this, I'm going to be talking about the Capcom Showcase. So this one, honestly, they didn't have like an extensive amount of stuff to show. I mean, they showed a brief trailer for Street Fighter 6. Basically, really didn't give us a whole lot of new information, at least not in their trailer. They showed off stuff for Resident Evil Village, or Resident Evil 8 getting a VR game, as well as an update that adds third-person perspective and the DLC mode, which gives you the main protagonist's daughter. So that stuff's cool. I'm fine with that. Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake are being updated for next gen consoles or current gen consoles, 9th gen consoles if you wanted to say. PC is also getting an update to match them, or got an update to match them. And Resident Evil 4 remake got talked about a little bit. See, I'm not having an issue with those games. I don't have an issue with Resident Evil 4 getting a remake and basically getting a makeover and an updo. But if you're going to do all the classic games, there's still 3 that are missing from that equation. One in particular that hasn't really had an updated look and all. Well, actually, it's never got an updated look. Because, hell, even Resident Evil got a remake for the GameCube, which ended up becoming the main version of Resident Evil, the original Resident Evil that Capcom has been selling. So, looking at it like that, I'm like, you would think that y'all'd want to redo the original Resident Evil. You'd want to redo Resident Evil 0 and actually make it 2-player compatible. Because you have Rebecca and what's his name, Billy? You have 2 playable characters. And then Resident Evil Code Veronica. I am like not insulted, but I'm like, Capcom, why are you not remaking these? Specifically Resident Evil Code Veronica and 0. Because I understand Resident Evil 1 remake was technically already done. It would have to be Resident Evil. The only way they could really differentiate that one would be to call it Resident Evil 1. Obviously. Because you got 0. So calling it Resident Evil 1 actually makes sense. So I'm just like, y'all got, okay, it's fine that y'all did 2, 3, and 4. I understand those are like the most popular games in the franchise. But now you need to do 0, 1, and Code Veronica. If you're going to milk Resident Evil, at least milk it in a way that, brings more content to these games. It gives it to more people. I don't even think you can get Code Veronica on Steam. I'm going to have to check. Because I want to be able to get it just in case they do decide to remake it. And also, I know I've said this before, but Capcom, it would be a good idea to have the classic games also available for people to purchase. I don't know why you guys are avoiding that, but you should, and I do mean you should, have re-release versions of the classic versions of Resident Evil, so that people who play the remakes, who might be interested, can go back and play the older versions of the games. You could essentially sell the same games twice in 2 different perspectives. Like, yeah, don't really mess with any of the elements from the old game that were already there. But put the classic versions out on the newer platforms so people can get them. I don't think that that's a bad move, to be fully honest. But again, I mean, if they're going to be doing this, you can put those games out, remake them, and put the classic versions out. They could remake both Outbreak games. They could remake Dead Aim, remake Survivor. There's a lot of content that could be parsed from this series for games that really didn't do all that well in the series that people may not know anything about. Heck, you can even take some of the mobile games that were released for the franchise and remake them. Or you even know what you could also do? Remake Resident Evil Gaiden. It was never a part of the main story anyway, so you could always remake it as like a what if story. Hell, maybe even take some of those elements from the prototype versions of Resident Evil 4 and throw them in there. That would be awesome to do. Be pretty awesome to do that. Actually take all the elements from the prototype games. From Resident Evil 1.5, the prototype for Resident Evil 2, and both 3.5 variants, which were the prototypes for Resident Evil 4. You could take all those elements and throw that stuff together in the Resident Evil Gaiden remade as a what if side story. Again, this is just me spitballing the ideas. It's up to Capcom to do it. Capcom Arcade Second Stadium. Cool. I'm glad that they're putting out their arcade content for people to get their hands on. Great. Awesome. Nothing negative to say about that. Exo Primal. I like the look of this game. I'm not even gonna lie. I like the look of this game. I think it could be fun. But the odd thing is, it looks like Dino Crisis meets Mass Effect Andromeda. That's what it looks like to me. At least from a gameplay perspective. It looks cool. I think it could be nice. My only current issue is I think they threw out, maybe as odd as this sounds, they threw out too much story information and not really enough on like the gameplay mechanics and the different styles of suits and stuff that you can use. Now, if they put a little bit more focus on the gameplay and the different elements of it and the different tactical equipment you can have and earn in the game, which they'll probably do some sort of presentation in the near future for that, I will look forward to that. I think that would be cool. I know they're doing a network test for that game through Steam. You have to basically sign up for that. Dragon's Dogma celebrating 10 years. That's cool. I do hope that means that they're going to do more with the series as far as the game side of it is concerned. But I mean, I didn't really get to jump into that myself too much. I just think that it would make a whole lot more sense to do so. Trying to think, is there anything else? Did I miss something? I don't think I really missed anything with Capcom. Oh yeah, they talked about Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, and there's a demo out for that. That looks awesome. The only problem I have with Monster Hunter Rise right now is that it's not cross-platform. You should be able to do cross-platform play, and you should be able to do cross-save with your Steam account. If you're not going to put it on any other platform besides the Switch and Steam, it should be cross-platform. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Let people on both platforms play with each other, and if you have save data, let you be able to transfer your save data back and forth. I don't see that causing a problem. And it's not like Capcom can't do it, because they did it for Street Fighter 5. And they're apparently doing it for Street Fighter 6 from what I've heard. So why can't you do it for a game like Monster Hunter Rise, which is like one of your most popular entries in the franchise? I think it makes a lot of sense. Especially because you're putting out this expansion for Sunbreak, and there's going to be so many free expansions to the game. Why the hell not? Oh, and the last thing, Capcom, I'm a little irritated with you guys because, again, you got Exo Primal and you got Resident Evil, but for some damn reason, y'all will not remake Dino Crisis, which is perfect in that engine. You can remake Onimusha and you haven't done it. 2 games that would fit the RE engine in its usage that you have not done, but you can put Street Fighter 6 in the RE engine. Just letting that one sink in. And I hope that this means that you guys doing this means that there's going to be more Capcom classics coming out. Like a Beautiful Joe collection would be awesome. Piano 3 would be nice because that game really didn't get enough love. I'm just saying. Y'all could go ahead and redo, what was it? Damn, it's not the Bouncer because that was Square Enix. Somebody's going to know what I'm talking about. Because I've talked about this game multiple times. And I don't know why the Bouncer popped into my head. But it's not the Bouncer. But the game is in a similar vein. It's in a similar vein to Final Fight Streetwise, even though that wasn't really all that good of a game. It's in a similar vein to that. But I can't remember the name of it for some freaking reason. Somebody's going to remember it. And then I'm going to remember it after I'm done recording and be ticked off. But it was made by Platinum before when they were Clover Studio. I just can't remember the name of it for some reason right now. But whatever. Everybody knows what I'm talking about at this point. Besides me. I would like to see them dive into their old catalog and just go ahead and go gung-ho. Like, if you're going to be releasing all these arcade games, and some of these arcade games are released in multiple different compilations, mind you, like Street Fighter 2 and Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting, which is literally going to be re-released in the daggone fighting game bundle with Darkstalkers and stuff like. I'm like, gosh, what the hell is wrong with y'all that y'all released this in multiple different things? Multiple different compilations have a version of Street Fighter 2. Some of them having the same version of Street Fighter 2. If you know you've already got it in one compilation, you don't need to keep adding it to others. Because then it becomes monotonous. And you're making people rebuy the same game multiple times in different collections on the same platform. Just saying. If that'd be the only negative critique I have about the arcade collection that they have that they're bringing out. But I think honestly I've said everything I really needed to say when it comes down to the Capcom Showcase. Because it wasn't really bad. Actually, it wasn't bad at all. It was just mostly that a lot of the stuff we kind of already know about, and they're just milking the hell out of Resident Evil at this point. And I'm glad that they redid the Street Fighter 6 logo. I meant to say that. I didn't really talk about that. But there will be a separate discussion for that particular game because of some of the leaks I've seen that I'm not too happy with. Some of them I am, others I am not. But I have to really go over all of them in order to really talk about them. There's really one in particular I have a major gripe with that I hope at some point gets rectified through the game's story. But otherwise, I'm done here. Thank you guys very much for listening again. Keep your eyes and ears out for more stuff from me. And until the next time, enjoy your games. Peace out, everybody.